Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
G'day everyone and welcome to the Giddy Up Podcast Season 3 Episode 7. My name is JT and I am joined of course by the wonderful three-time Paralympian champion Mr. Donnie Elgin. Welcome Donnie.
And no more mask wearing JT.
We are free. We are free now.
Back in the dungeon, mate.
Exactly. Now tonight is going to be a different kind of show tonight, in case you've probably noticed already for those of you who are watching. But if you are joining on the podcast, thanks for listening in. But what you are seeing if you're watching us live is that we're in slightly different circumstances because, we're back together. So we've got Donnie basically sitting next to me, but through the modern power of technology.
I'm miles away. Any closer, mate, I'll be on your knee. This is the first time all night you've let me off your knee for the show, so I'm bloody delighted. It is. It's stupidly exciting to be back, isn't it? I mean, this is where the podcast started. It started in your bedroom, and then we graduated to your office, and now here we are, ready back. Like the old gang's back together again.
Here we are, and in complete disarray in terms of getting the actual setup right. It's really weird. Don's sitting to my left, and I look to Don, and I'm not looking at you guys. So we're going to work all that out as the night goes on.
JT, that is the exact reason why I won't have a clue what's on the run sheet tonight.
So here's our beautiful wide shot. Do you like that shot, Donnie? I reckon one works really well.
I'm glad you're still in control. The only thing you need to do, mate, is push record. Have you done that?
No, I have not.
Holy shit, you haven't either. Right.
So now we have. Thank God for that, Donnie. Good pickup.
Hello and welcome to the Giddy Up Podcast. There hasn't been a glitch all night.
It is going to be a night full of technical disasters, I'm sure, which makes the show entertaining. We do it for your entertainment, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Now we do, like every other week, Donnie, we have a run sheet.
We do. Well, you create a run sheet and
it doesn't.
Every now and then you tell me about it. Sometimes you send it to me. Sometimes I look at it. And sometimes I even contribute to it, JT.
Well, like tonight, you've contributed a lot to tonight. So I'm looking forward to the in-depth analysis that you love bringing to our Giddy Up podcast audience. So this could be interesting. And we're going to get straight into it, Donnie, because this section is
this is me.
This is all you. So I'm very, very excited.
Have we got a stinger?
Weird, wonderful, and wacky.
Yes, it is the weird, wonderful and wacky segment. And we've got a whole bunch of things that Don has done extensive research on tonight. And we're going to kick it off, Donnie, with, the title was Penny for Your Thoughts, Donnie. Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
JT, let me first we're going to back up because what's happened is we've been in a bit of a hiatus. You've been travelling around the country and stuff.
True.
So, because you can.
Yep.
And so we haven't done
a bit of work finally.
A podcast for a couple of weeks. We actually had
a bit rusty.
I tell you what was good too, getting a less hate mail in that time off. That was good.
That's true. The inbox is a little lighter. That's good.
So I thank my family for less of that. Now, JT, so what that means is that some time since the last podcast, I actually started grabbing all this material for us.
Right.
The problem is it's been a while since I've looked at this material. So let me get, all right, penny for your thoughts. I can remember this one. This one was about it was a cracker actually. It was a...
Started off well.
It was this fellow who lost his job. Like he wrapped it up. He was working for a mechanic.
Yep.
And the mechanic said, no, you're all done, mate. So he didn't go in for his last shift, didn't pick up his last paycheck, right? So then the bloke working for him said, well, this is a bit rough. I really want my cash. I'm owed a bit of cash, right? Which I think off the top of my head was about $900. I'm sort of guessing it was about that.
Okay, yeah.
Because I actually forget. And so what happened, JT, is after he'd complained and went to Consumer Affairs and said, hey, I'm owed this bloody cash. Where is it? And the next day in his driveway, JT, is a wheelbarrow load of pennies that were dumped in his driveway with a note, JT, language warning here, with a big FU to the so imagine your old boss delivering your last paycheck with a little love note saying FU and wait for it, JT.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah. How would you be if all those pennies were covered in oil?
Oh, they really didn't like him.
Well, it turns out, JT, that this mechanic he's got a bit of form. He's actually a flog, and he's done different things. Other people, because of course this hit social media, and social media is great because it brings everyone to the party. Everyone can be a media guru on social media. And so they all chimed in and said, yeah, I've had bad experience with that bloke as well. So the bloke who got the delivery of his last paycheck, he, to this day, has them in a wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow's got a flat tire because it's bloody heavy, and he continues to clean them 1 penny at a time. And every day he looks at his little note and he says, F you, straight back to the mechanic. So, crazy story.
Crazy. I actually had a video, but do you reckon I had it loaded, ready to go?
Probably did in the last 3 weeks.
I did, but I don't even know how to play it now because I didn't load it in, so we're not even going to watch it. So there's the first stuff up. I reckon if someone gets a telly going tonight, we are definitely going for double figures tonight.
So that means I'm none, you're one.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with that, JT. Let's stop the show right now.
There's going to be a lot going on my side. So now, Donnie, I know that you're well into saving the environment and doing everything you can. And well, scientists say that they've got jet fuel now that is made from food waste, and that's just going to slash the climate impact of planes. So, Donnie, I know you would have done a lot of digging on this one. So, hit us with the technical stuff, mate.
I'll tell you what I did with this one, JT. I saw that headline and thought, JT will like this shit. And I just flipped that straight to, did not even read that one. All I thought about, right, was we're getting old food waste and it's firing up planes. JT, I'll tell you a little story.
Okay.
I first represented Australia in 1994, went to the World Championships over in Germany. Back in those days, there was ashtrays on the flight. So I'm sitting down, there's an ashtray right there beside me, and I thought to myself, oh, wow, you bloody smoke on here. I thought, well, I don't smoke, so I probably won't take it up for the flight. But then I looked around, and seen all these fatties, JT, like real big fat people, right? And
thyroid problems?
No, fat, just straight up eating too much, stick too much stuff in their gob, get fat.
I tried, people. Yep.
Right? And I thought to myself, holy shit, I've never flown before. How is this thing going to stay in the air? Right? Since then, and it did. It stayed in the air all the way over to Germany. We landed, no problems at all. Right? Yep. And I thought if they're fat people, they're going to have fat luggage, so there'll be a lot of stuff on board.
Right.
So I shit myself the whole first flight. No big adult there to talk me through this, right? So you reckon I shit myself, JT, watching a few fatties? How do you reckon I'm feeling? Next flight, I go there and I know they've used a few old bananas to keep the bloody thing in the air. Mate, my flying days are done, JT.
No, what are you talking about? They reckon that the US at the moment spend 21 billion gallons of jet fuel every year, and they reckon that's going to double by 2050 as flights get cheaper and it gets easier. And so obviously that's a huge contribution to gas emissions across the globe. So they think that by using this, they said it's going to be a carbon footprint of 165% less than standard jet fuel. So that's a pretty big saving on the environment.
JT, all they need to do is roll out another COVID, mate. There's been no flying that's a big
that has certainly cut down on flights globally.
There you go.
Conspiracy.
Hey, haven't got that fuel right yet.
Now, Don, again, you have done an enormous amount of work for this segment. It's quite impressive. So this one we're going to talk about a new research expedition, Donnie. Now, when you hear research, you get a little bit excited. You know, they do these expeditions and you go, oh, that could be interesting, being at the frontier of science, exploring the world, etc. But this one was going to put a small group of volunteers and they were going to spend 6 weeks underground with no way of telling the time, and they wanted to study the impact of that on humans.
Why don't they just go to Crown Casino? They've got no clocks in it. Like, seriously, imagine that. Wait, who's going, JT? Like, is there a bit of love action?
Well, we don't know yet. There's 15 people going in, so... Do
they know each other? Like, is there couples? What's the story? Is it reality telling?
Well, the thing I love about this is your story, Don.
Oh, right.
you should know the answers to all of this.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. There's the professor and no, JT, it's going to be bloody great. We'll get some research out of this and people will work out if ever we run out of clocks, we can still live. I think that's the
gist, you reckon?
That's the finding.
I love when you do go the extra mile because it says like the 15 strong team. Now, look, I'm no math whiz.
Here we go.
But it does say, Donnie, that there's 7 men and 7 women.
So it's going to be a doublet.
Well, I'm just going 7 and 7's 14,
That's
but 14. It's a 15 strong team, Donnie.
Are they taking in an animal? Are they taking Oscar or one of a dog?
No, there's no mention of that. No, it is the expedition leader, of course, Donnie.
Is there a Siamese twin? Oh, there we go.
All added up. Now, Don, this is one I've contributed, so
Right,
I've got to take the lead
Hit
on
me.
this one.
Hit me,
I'm
JT.
gonna,
What do you
well, I
got?
don't want to hit you because let's face it,
bloody
you're a bit
close,
sore
like-
at the moment. We're going to talk about that a bit later on. Why is Don sore is a very good question that people should be asking right now. Now, have you ever been to the Gold Coast and some of the theme parks? That slingshot ride, when the two people just sit there and they just wind up the lucker band sort of thing and just fling you right up into the air.
George and
You've
Mitch,
done
they
that,
all
yeah?
went on. Yeah,
And they normally
love
they film it, right? And you get some funny reactions. People are passed out
Camera straight in
spewed
front.
and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yep.
So, well, there was a bit of an incident in Florida last week, Don.
Uh-oh.
Now, you know how it sort of, they wind it up and it goes whee and it swings up into the air.
It's
Well,
attached.
the whole idea, of course, is that it comes back.
Oh, no. Oh, JT, have we lost a couple? Is that expedition? They're gone to space.
Well, the good news is, don't worry, no one died. But what did happen though was, I'm just going to show you a photo for those who are watching, because we do need to see this one.
Righto.
I'm just trying.
And for those of you that aren't watching,
you are going to explain it to our good people,
talk
right?
you through it when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know what it is, JT.
Well, as soon as I can bloody find it.
It's,
keep stalling for
Well,
me.
I'll tell you what I like about this, JT. As soon as you say nobody was harmed in the making of this, right? So straight away, that says to me it's probably not all bad.
Well, look, let's just say that we had to get emergency services involved on. Does that give you any more insight into what happened?
Oh, I get the feeling there's a hanger, JT.
A hanger? What do you mean by a hanger?
Well, they're bloody hanging midair. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
But well, if they haven't slingshot out of the state, then my next guess is that I don't think they would have been wedged to the bottom. Like I think it would have taken off
Right.
and then just maybe stopped up there.
Just stopped. Well, you're pretty much right. It I can't get this bloody photo up for the life of me
There's
right
two.
now.
Write that down.
There's the second one. I don't know what the hell's happened to my slingshot slot, but
it's
basically
pretty
they got stuck. It didn't come the whole way down. They actually had to get emergency services to get a crane to actually go and rescue these poor two people that were stuck.
Had they been on the source? Like, were they? Have we got any info? Were they young, old? What's the story?
Oh, they were young.
They're probably bloody aged when that shit happens. I wonder if they've said we'll do it again, or you can shove that in you.
Well, they were two teenagers, and I was just going to say, would you ever get back on that ride again, Don, if that happened to you?
Can you imagine if? No, I wouldn't get on the bloody thing in the first place. Not my cup of tea, JT. No, siree.
No, so you've never done it.
No, hell no. I'll shit myself the whole. I'm not into those rides and stuff, JT. Like seriously, me on a motorbike doing 200, happy days every day of the week because I'm running the show. But
Right.
putting this bloody example, what you haven't got is a perfect example of why I wouldn't do this shit, JT. Plus,
fair.
I get a bit of like that nausea gut thing. But hey, a little life hack. I know
Okay.
we've got life hacks later.
We have, yeah.
Have we got some?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll give one now.
I don't
Right.
know. Okay.
If ever you get talked into going on one of those bloody rides, those simulators, right, and your guts is going and it's all because your vision and what you're seeing, trust me, kids, just close your eyes. Just close your eyes and just think you're in the car and you'll go through a few bumps and it's what your brain just doesn't get wired up by what you're seeing. So that is my trick every day. Oh, my kids are probably never going to go on a ride with me anymore.
Yeah, I think you just ruined
Well,
that.
I might have just saved some cash because I won't have to bloody go on those things anymore. I don't like them. Anyway, shut your eyes if you're on something you don't like.
Guess what, Donny?
You got it.
Boom!
Holy crap, that's
Wrong
not
one.
it, Jake. We didn't have...
Oh, Jesus Christ. So give me one job, Donny,
Yeah.
and I just
Oh,
can't
I've
get it
given
right.
you
Here
a
we
few.
go.
That's not it again,
no,
Jake.
that's it. Here we go. Oh, this one.
Right.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. Right.
There's a shot.
So talk this. The lights are still working.
Look,
That's
you
important.
know what, we're spending enough time on this crap anyway. There's the photo if you're watching it. If not, we're going to move on to the next one, which I think is...
What is it?
Well...
What is it?
You know, a lot of people have commented and say, what happened to little Oscar? Is he around? Is he, what's going on? And so the good news is Oscar is well.
Oh, he's well. He's bloody take
He's
over
well.
this
He
show.
might make an appearance at some point in the show tonight because it's a bit loose, let's be honest.
And I'm just about in his, like,
yeah,
scratch
in
pad,
his
so.
in his territory.
Yeah.
But there was a guy in the UK that when your neighbours put their house up for sale, Don, and you're sort of like you just want to know. You go, oh, here's a chance. I just want to have a bit of a squiz inside.
Oh, yeah.
See what's happening,
Let's
etc.
be honest, 50% of foot traffic in people's
Yeah,
houses in the
that's
suburbs got to be
Noisy
tyre
neighbours. No,
kickers.
nosy neighbours, right?
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Rightio.
So much to the surprise of this guy in the UK, he thought, I'm just going to have a look. And he's looking at the house and, he looks into one of the rooms into the bedroom and it sees this cat lying on the bed.
Yeah.
It's bloody his cat.
Oh.
His cat had been pissing off during the day, going next door and just cruising, just sleeping at the next door neighbours.
Funny.
So he's.
And have they been feeding it? Geez,
they've been looking after him. He's been leading this double life, this little cat.
Oh,
So,
I love it, mate. That's fantastic.
There you go. So you can,
could have been a lot worse. Imagine if he had been a telescope pointing into his house or something like.
Well, it just goes to show you can never trust cats. They're just
Nah,
really selfish
that's
little
a
shits,
straight
aren't
pussy.
they? I'll tell
Yeah.
you what. So
enough.
there you go. That was our very disjointed and let's face it, missing a lot of shit.
To the show, Jason. Great
I know,
start.
it was pretty ordinary,
People
wasn't
are
it?
missing shit to listen to this shit. So that's all right. Good on them. Right now,
No, hang on. There's one more.
Oh, there's more.
No, there is one more. I really want to show this photo
What do you
because
got?
I'd flashed it up on the screen before. This, Donnie, for those that are looking at it, is a really, really old shark. They reckon this shark is about 400 years old.
Oh, who was here at his birth?
No, well,
How are
no
they going
one.
to prove that shit?
Well, it's interesting you say that because with fish, like with trees, they count the amount, the rings on the tree to try and work out how many years there's a new ring it forms every year, and that's how they date how old trees are.
Have they cut that fucker open just to work out how
No,
old it
no,
was?
they didn't do that. But with fish, they actually often examine their ear bones because it's actually very similar. It has
Fish have got ears.
Yeah, inside. Just go with it.
They got
But
fingers.
however,
I've been eating them for years.
Greenland sharks, which is what that was, are very difficult to age because there's no parts in their body that show growth layers until
Dun, dun, you got some music for this, John?
until they actually realise that the lens of their eyes, they can actually radiocarbon date it, and that's how they actually determined that shark was about 400 years old. Now I'm sort of thinking, if you radiocarbon dating the lens of the eyes, there's only one way to do that in the laboratory. So I'm tipping they killed the shark just to work out how old it is, which is kind of not really good, is it?
Well, if you caught it and you were going to throw it back and you thought, well, I'll get a couple $100K if I take it in,
Yeah,
maybe. But
maybe.
seriously.
I know, right?
Yeah. Science,
Donnie.
research. Bloody got a lot to stand for, hasn't it?
That really has, isn't it?
Geek of the week.
Oh, Donnie, I love trying to bring everyone some really geeky sort of news, and I've covered lots of
more
stuff.
than the fucking shark eyelid one.
Yeah, more than that. Right?
Righto.
We've spoken a lot about sciencey things and some real geeky computer things, but I want to talk about a topic that I'm pretty excited and passionate about tonight, Donnie. And our money whisperer has also been sort of dancing around the edges of this one for a while.
Oh,
So I want to tell everyone about cryptocurrency.
JT's gonna unravel
Donnie,
crypto.
You've just got to get in it now, Donnie. I know that you've had a bit of a dabble in crypto.
I have indeed.
And I've had a fairly decent dabble in crypto as well. And,
So this is our last podcast. We're bloody, it's flying.
We've bought our own
suckers.
tropical island, and we're now multi-billionaires. So it's been great doing the show. Good, see you later. But no, it is actually really starting to go nuts. So if you're not into crypto, and this is not financial advice by any stretch of the imagination,
Bullshit, it's not.
But seriously, load up, put your house on it.
Well, how do they do it, Jay? Tell us about this, because I had my hair cut by a hairdresser the other day.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm calling it. But it was interesting because I asked her a couple of questions, and most people that have got no skin in the game
Yep.
know stuff all about crypto. And that's
right.
fair enough, because I didn't know anything about it at all. Not that I know much now.
Yeah.
But and I said to her, oh, what's the current rate of Bitcoin? Right? She goes, oh, it's about 40,000. Right? And I thought, okay, that tells me all I need to know, because the last time I looked, which was about 20 minutes before we went to the barbershop, it was sitting at 72. It's since had a little bit of a bump since then, which is good. So tell me, this is invisible money. That's the way people see it. It's bullshit. It's decentralized. Nobody actually touches this coin. How can it possibly be worth anything? JT, please explain.
Well, look, some of that is actually true, but it's a form of payment that can be exchanged for online goods and services. So now Bitcoin is becoming a lot more mainstream, and we've just seen a couple of weeks ago that Tesla have announced that you can now purchase a brand new Tesla using Bitcoin. So it can be used for payments of goods.
How many Bitcoins? How much is
You
it? Tesla?
probably need, probably only one, because Bitcoin is currently trading at about $78,000 for one coin. And at the start of the year, it was down around $30,000, Donnie. So it has gone up significantly. But cryptocurrencies essentially rely on a technology called blockchain. Now, it is getting really technical. We're not going to go into a lot of that. But basically what it does is it spreads out transactions and records across multiple computers. It is high security, and that's why even banks are now looking at getting into crypto. Now, at the moment, there is about $2 trillion globally invested in crypto, and that is growing literally daily at the moment. But Bitcoin accounts for about 1.5 trillion of that. So the majority of crypto money is absolutely in Bitcoin, but it is slowly moving into what they call altcoins, which is essentially any other cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin. And that's where there's potentially some really good gains to be made in crypto.
So that said, you really haven't helped me much. Why mum and dad punter would go and redraw on their mortgage or grab that lazy $5 large that they got under the mattress and say, right, head down to the bank and buy me some coin.
Yep. So the reason why people are getting into cryptocurrency is a lot of people see it as the currency of the future. At the moment, banks control all the money globally, right? And the reason they're sort of a bit going, what's this whole crypto, and governments are a bit cautious, is that banks don't control it. So a lot of people
does?
Well, no one. And this is the thing around, depending on the coin, there are certainly some panels and some controls and mechanisms in place, but no one government controls cryptocurrency. So it removes the central banks from the supply. And typically what happens over time, banks reduce the value of money by inflation. That won't happen with cryptocurrency. And for some cryptocurrency, there is a limited supply. So in Bitcoin, there is only so many Bitcoins that can be generated. And so it's now been essentially digital gold is what they're referring it to. Once there's no more Bitcoins that are going to be available. So if you've got one, it is just going to keep going up in value. And right now, as I said, it's nearly $80,000. There's a lot of people expecting that to be at $1 million over the next couple of years for one coin.
So, JT, a couple of years back, and I reckon it would have been about 2018, don't quote me on this. Like I sort of had a bit of a sniff around this, and I'm one of these type of humans that just, a bit of FOMO or the fear of missing out. So I go, right, I'll have a crack, like stuff it. Someone's going to get rich. I'll miss out on the .com thing. So who knows, but I'll get into this. Now, it was bloody complicated. It was so many things I had to do and fake emails and all sorts of shit just to buy into some coins, right? So I bought into a couple of, a few different ones. And what I found, JT, is that it's got simpler as we've got along. Like now the process to actually go down, you can't go down the street and into the bank because clearly they don't sell them. But the process to buy them is a whole lot easier. But why still do you think that Bitcoin or coins will take over, and why now? Why didn't you tell us about this, 2 years, 3 years ago?
Well, I think it was an emerging technology, obviously, years ago. It's now becoming a lot more mainstream. So literally just in the last couple of weeks, we've had Visa now announcing that cryptocurrency can be used to make purchases. Now, Visa
as in what, your MasterCard Visa style?
Correct. So Visa are now starting to go into crypto, and literally 2 days ago, PayPal have now said that we are also going to allow payments via crypto. And there's some details behind that, but essentially when you've got major corporations buying into Bitcoin, you've now got major payment gateways, Visa and PayPal, saying we're going to accept crypto. You can see now that it is really gaining some momentum, and it's certainly been very volatile. And you can literally look at, I know you've got some stuff and some coins. You can look at your account one day and go, "Oh, you beauty," and look at it the next day, and it might be a different story. But over time,
to board lollies real quick in this game.
That's right. But there are some significant gains to be made, and I honestly think this is a once in a lifetime opportunity this year, because in a couple of years, crypto is just going to be the norm. But right now, it's sort of still in that early adopter phase. So I think it's a really good opportunity if people are interested.
Righto. So this brings me back to the no bullshit filter that we put on our show at the start. We've always said that if people reach out, we've talked about mental health, we've talked about all these things, that, hey, we're available if you're interested, just reach out, send us an email, and we'll connect with you to help. Can we help? Like we're not bloody financial people.
No, we're certainly not.
But can you steer somebody into a step-by-step guide of how to buy a coin or set up an account or something like that?
Absolutely. We're happy to help. Just reach out to us and we will help you get set up. It is actually very, very easy these days. And you can literally get started with $1 or $10 or something. It's not like you have to put a huge amount in. So you can just chip in $10 and you could buy 0.00001% of a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy full coins. And I think that's a common misperception. People go, "Oh, well, I'd like to get in, but I don't have 78 grand to buy a Bitcoin." Well, you know what? You could buy $10 of a Bitcoin if you wanted to. So absolutely, if you're interested in getting involved and learning more about crypto, happy to help. Just reach out and we'll get you set up.
JT, and just before we get off this one, I want to tell you a little something. I remember watching an article. I was coaching, I was assistant coach down in Ballarat. One of my mates had a footy club down there, and I was going down there. I said, "Mate, bloody Bitcoins, we should have a look at this." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, we'll keep it on." Anyway, Sunday night, it was on the like Sunday night bloody shows, whatever they are, 60 Minutes something. And they said, oh, this Bitcoin, they were talking to these people, said, oh, it was at $20,000 and people, like their lives changed, right? And they said, oh, no, we got out at 15,000, we made, 100,000, it was awesome. And then people were just beside themselves that a coin could be worth $20,000. It then had a bit of a free fall and everyone goes, yeah, told you that coin is crap. Look, got down to about $3,000, JT, to the best of my knowledge.
Yep.
And now it sits at what?
Nearly $78,000.
$78,000. So if you don't mind, if you had a board in at $3,000 and thought I'll just get a couple of those.
Yep. Well, let's not forget, when Bitcoin first came out, it was literally cents to buy a Bitcoin. So there are literally a lot of people that are multi-millionaires, if not billionaires, on the back of some Bitcoin, the early adopters. There was a very famous story about a guy very early in the piece that bought a pizza. It was one of the first transactions to be made with Bitcoin. And I think at the time, I'm not exactly sure of the coin, it was something like 25 coins or something like that, 25 Bitcoins to buy a pizza. And, you know what those coins are worth now. So it was one very expensive pizza.
Holy crap.
So there you go. But, yeah, definitely worth looking at. If you're interested, feel free to reach out and we'll help you get underway.
Yeah.
Giddy up, exactly right. Now, Donnie, we love discussing a few things each
mate,
show. And this
ever.
is where we get a little bit controversial sometimes. So we've got a couple of topics that we want to just hit up. And I'm going to hit you up with one straight away, Donnie, around, and it got a lot of media exposure. We've talked a lot about the cancel culture.
Oh, yes.
Because I know it just does our head in, right? And there was a lot of work going on to go with the Gay Time name change. So there's a guy that started a petition and said, I want Gay Time, the ice cream, the name to be changed because it's offensive. And, what are your thoughts, Donnie?
Well, JT, up until I heard Brian, who I think was the name that started on change.org, that website around, change the name of Gay Time. I actually heard an interview, and I think it was Paul Murray did an interview and had this bloke on. And when I heard him, honestly, it took the wind out of my fight. And the reason it took the wind out of my fight is because this was a classic example of somebody screaming for their 15 minutes. He like, in terms of offensive and all that sort of, like, there was a young guy, he was gay, he had some struggles, and his point was, why should my sexual preference be on an ice cream label? And I thought, mate, if that's where you're at, unfortunately your sexual preference comes second to Gay Time, so I had a bit of an issue with that. But honestly, I actually felt sorry for him. I thought getting him some help as opposed to kicking the crap out of him for being a dipshit would be a better option. So, mate, people can choose to call for change all they like. What society needs to do is stand up and have some sort of barometer for when we go, okay, we're going to swallow that and go with it because, yeah, it's fair and reasonable. And then what do we say? Hey, back in your box, champ, just because you're offended. At the moment, there's a whole lot of outrage about people that are offended that we can't just have a joke anymore. All those offences all of a sudden don't count for anything. The minority group does. So, mate, I actually felt sorry for this bloke, and the Gay Time name shouldn't change. I don't think it'll get the momentum, and I really don't give a shit as long as they don't change the flavour of the ice cream because they're bloody nice, mate. I love the Gay
delicious.
Time.
They actually did a survey. There was a number of surveys done, but there was a big survey done by, I think it was news.com.au that did a survey asking if people felt it should be changed.
Yeah.
98%, Donnie, said no.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and that's about in line. So it's okay. Everyone can have their chance to have a whinge, but we don't need to follow it.
Yeah, I know. There we go. Good point. Now, Donnie, obviously the Victorian Premier had a fall down the stairs.
Yes, JT. Now,
Donnie?
this is one I've got for you because you did say to me very clearly in the last podcast before we went off air for a couple of weeks because you were travelling around the country, that Dan the man will not be back. And I said, bullshit, JT. You suggested that he might have, he might have had some support with his fall, and you also made an outlandish claim and said he will not govern the state again. Now, to date, JT, you've been bloody right. However, word on the street, JT.
Here we go.
Word on the street is he's just having a bit of sick leave and he'll be back soon, mate.
Oh, well, that's great. Great news to hear. I hope he's recovering well at home. And
we don't wish him
to,
ill, by the way. That's not what
it's not at all. We look forward to having him back when he's fit and healthy. But I'm standing by that I still don't think he will be returning as Premier. And Been awfully quiet, don't you think? We had one tweet come from a hospital ward and nothing since. It seems a bit weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, but when you go on leave, JT, do you bloody
just
tweet all
back
the
off
time?
social media, you reckon?
Oh,
just lie
just
low.
Kick back, yeah.
Ah, there you go. Well, nothing to worry about then. I'm sure he'll be back in no time.
Oh, you saying there's something even more sinister? Like they've chopped his fingers off and he can't tweet anymore.
No, I'm definitely not
Holy
saying.
shit, JT.
Definitely not saying that. Now, Donnie, there's been a lot of protests in Melbourne recently.
Yes,
the climate
there
change
have.
protesters. They've literally
Yes.
shut down the whole of Melbourne.
Yes.
They've bloody just literally decided to erect a stupid tripod in the middle of the road and banked up traffic, hours of delays for people. And everyone just goes, oh, yeah, that's not great. And most people, I reckon, would be pretty pissed off if I was in the car, Donnie, and that was in front of me. Probably wouldn't end well.
What are you saying? You just run over them?
I'd either run out and I'd get over and I'd rip the shit down and just get on my way, because you know what? I'm all for people having say what you got to say, freedom of speech, all that stuff, no problems whatsoever. But you have no right to inconvenience hundreds of thousands of people who are just trying to go home, get back to their family, get to their sport, get to their kids, whatever it is. You have no right to impeach on someone else's space like that.
But JT, the planet's at stake here. Like it could cook if they don't lie down on tram tracks and shit.
Yeah, again, there's much better ways to make a protest than pissing off hundreds of thousands of people, because all that's doing is turning people against them. Now, I love this, Donnie. Now, I did contemplate whether I should put this in the hero of the week or the dickhead of the week.
Oh, I like these borderline ones.
But,
What have you got?
Well,
Who you got?
this is something similar. It just happened in Perth recently, and I'm actually going to share the video with our audience, and the audio will
Perth
make
later
sense
in the
too.
year. Make sure I'm still welcome, JT.
Get out of my way. Why don't you deal with this?
Well, JT, it's what you've just shown there is a guy who has reacted to the way you said you would. He's ripped down the protest sign. And then what you may not have been clear is he got jumped then by about 4 or 5 cops.
Correct.
And he's now probably the villain out of all this, as opposed to the people. What I would love to know, if in his car he's got a sick kid and on the way to hospital. Like, you wouldn't want that to happen, but I tell you what, if I had a sick kid, I wouldn't be jumping out to take the sign. I'd probably act the same way you said you would. So, mate, it's interesting, isn't it? We can say whatever we like, but at the end of the day, these people that make a public nuisance of themselves are not held accountable. And unfortunately, they bloody should be. So, I reckon society needs to stand up and call it for the way they see it. And if it's burning down a sign or running over one or two. The other thing, JT, is what's the government's position on this? Because clearly the government is at fault, because that's why they're protesting in the first place, right? You try and protest in China, mate, out come the water cannons, and you're going to be drinking bloody big-ass juicy water for a whole lot of time if you attempt to continue to protest. So I don't know why they don't do it here. I think we're just a bunch of soft cocks. They don't use the fire brigade like they should. What do you reckon?
As I said, no time for dickheads like that whatsoever. So, water cannon them, do what you need to do, get them off the streets.
Oh, don't shoot them. Like,
No, shoot them. I don't care. Get rid of them. Piss off.
Bloody hide Daniel Andrews. JT's on the warpath.
Piss them off. Now, Don, we do have this little section that we like to call TikTok.
Oh, you do, yes.
It's time for TikTok. Now, Don, we've spoken a lot about my love of sharks.
Oh, well, JT, I wouldn't call your interest in sharks love. That's not what I'd call it.
Well, look, I've got a lot of respect for sharks. I think, they do their job in the ocean, and the oceans are better that sharks are in there. I just don't like them when they're anywhere near me. So I just thought I'd share a couple of clips here from TikTok, just showing.
Just going to give Sargi a heads up.
Well,
if she's watching this, there's going to be some clips of a shark.
Well, this is just what sharks just do. Now, I've killed the audio here, but I'm just going to add my own audio for effect.
Do that, JT.
But you know how when you're young and you go to the cliffs down the beach and you go, there's a cliff, let's jump off there, or jump off the pier, and you jump into the water because you go, this will be fun.
You're not turning into a killjoy and going to stop cliff jumping, eh?
No, it is a lot of fun. Right. All I want people to know is I'm just doing a community service announcement. I want people to know that at the bottom of that cliff, there are sharks waiting for you.
Oh, not necessarily.
No, they are always there.
Where
buddy.
has there ever been bloody proof that sharks are just loitering at the bottom of cliffs?
What I've learned on TikTok.
Well, not that one. And
Oh,
not that
that
one.
one.
Or one of these ones.
See, that's
Hang on.
a shark. That's a shark conspiracy,
Here we go.
right?
I've got to hear it. Here we go. This is the one. Here we go.
Right, okay.
There you go. Up the top of
Here
the
they-
cliff.
they're
This
cliff
looks like a
jumping.
bit of fun.
What's going on here, JT? All right, explain it. Oh,
What the hell is that, Don?
did you put that bloody
Donnie,
music
what
there?
was that? Just tell the listeners who haven't got video, what the hell was that?
Well, I think someone is playing with the audio for a start, JT. That was a Jaws bloody audio, but there was no shit. You know, I didn't. That didn't look too photoshopped to me. It looked like there was a shark swimming around underneath cliff sort of action. So, yeah, I reckon you might have one there, JT.
Oh, you think?
Well, it must admit, I don't spend a lot of time in shark-infested waters because I'm running out of bits to feed them.
Yeah, there's a very good reason why we shouldn't go near water and sharks. It just never should mix. And Don, I just want to illustrate the point because everyone goes, "Oh, but sharks, they don't like humans. They don't want to eat us. We don't taste good for them. They're just doing their job, just
Has there been
cruising
a
around the
shark survey, has
ocean,
there?
minding their own business, not trying to terrify humans. It's just we happen to be in there.
They've been made out the villain through movies
That's
like
right.
Jaws.
That's
yes.
exactly right. So, just Don, can you just explain, please?
Right, I'll give me best shot. What do you got,
Just
JT?
explain this particular scene.
Okay, so far.
Next time you are having a bad day,
Oh, hang on. There's a
think
shark.
of this bloke in a rubber boat.
Oh, nom 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 on a bloody dinghy.
Yeah, that is a great white shark actually chomping into a rubber boat that contains humans for the pure, why is it doing it?
The taste.
Clearly, because it wants to get the humans out of the boat and rip shit through them, Donnie. That's
JT, you're a killjoy. Now we can't even jump off cliff tops. We can't go rubber bloody dinghy and we can't do anything with you around.
Hey, I'm just, again, community service announcement. I'm just trying to help people, Don.
You're killing me.
No. Now, speaking of, being a bit of a killjoy, Don.
Oh,
Well,
this is not where we bring Nat in, is it?
Well, Nandy's coming up next, so
Right,
it
okay.
isn't
So
going to be too far
soon,
away.
right. And she's going to be close to me. She's going to tell me that I've got to stop eating pies and donuts and shit. So do we really need to bring her in, JT?
Well, I could probably tell you that already without me actually adding anything
Righto.
to it. But
I'm fattening myself up for the sharks.
no, this is where I get to jump on my little, soapbox, Donny. And
What, just now?
Yeah, and just get my little section. JT's Pick of the Week. Now,
What's in the firing line, JT?
Donny,
What is it?
I'll tell you what, I've spoken about this before, but live exports, Donny.
Yeah, you're not a fan.
When they load a whole bunch of animals on, they ship them overseas. Doesn't end well a lot of the times. And now we've all had a bit of a laugh. There's been a lot of memes, and I actually had a couple loaded up, which of course I've stuffed up. There's another technical stuff up that I can't actually show you because it was an absolute cracker. But we've all heard about the Suez Canal being blocked up by this one ship.
Yes,
and
yes.
it has caused a bit of chaos on the seas.
True. Big buddy. What was that? Was he off his tree or did he just...
Oh, they don't know.
Dust
It is
storm.
being, they're
That's the
saying
word on
dust
the street.
storm, but now it appears as though there might be some human error. Who would have thought?
Oh, you think?
Now, apparently, well, not apparently, it's now freed and everything's back and
Yeah.
ships are now, but there's a huge backlog, right?
Oh, you'd suspect there'd be a backlog.
Massive backlog. And unfortunately, in that backlog, there's about 20 ships in there that are carrying about 200,000 live animals.
Oh, that probably haven't got a lot of food and stuff for excess days.
That's exactly right. So now, apparently, according to EU law,
Yeah.
the ships that carry live animals have to have a 25% more food than planned
Right.
in case of delays.
Okay.
However, most animal welfare organisations say that hardly ever happens anyway.
Right.
But the reality is, and here's an example, there was a ship that left Romania on the 16th of March. It was supposed to arrive in Jordan on the 23rd of March, so a 7-day journey. But now they're expecting it, at best, it'll be there on the 1st of April. So it's a 9-day delay.
Oh,
So even if that ship had the 25% feed, which most don't,
long gone.
that would have only given about 1.5 days food. So again, we have animals that are going to die a horrible death, purely because they're just going to get. I just don't understand it. We're taking the animals over; they're just going to get slaughtered anyway. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
So what are you saying, JT? They should be picked and packed before they're sent off. Is that the answer?
That's exactly right. I mean, why would you put an animal through that much trauma? And here's a photo for those that are watching of just how crammed some sheep are crammed in there, and now they're just not going to have any food and water. I just think it's just sickening, disgusting, and it needs to stop.
Well, I thought that was panic buying for toilet paper when COVID was on, to be honest. But anyway, mate, that is, I think, good point. And like always, JT, you got a solution. Just do it all before and send it over because we've got some good meat and cheap and stuff. So, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Again, look, I get it. People want to eat meat. That's cool. I'm not here to tell people not to eat meat, but I just don't see the point of putting an animal through that much torture just for the sake of slaughtering them when they get off the ship anyway.
JT, I get the feeling that we might have an animal-sponsored segment soon the way you're going. If you're not sponsored by somebody multi-million-dollar, pet-loving joint, we might actually...
We're happy to take you on board.
Yes, we are. Great idea, JT.
No, very exciting.
Now, what's coming up?
Well, we are going to be talking to Nant live.
Live?
Live.
You've
When I say live, Don, I mean live as actually here
This scares me.
with us. We're not doing a live
We haven't got room for me and you. How are we going to fit Nant in here?
I
Not that
actually
she's fat.
I have no idea, but we are going to squeeze her in somehow any moment now. She's going to magically
shotgun on Oscar's buddy kitty litter.
magically going to appear, and I'm just going to keep stalling until she does appear.
Right, okay. So this is Nant's call. Victor Charlie, come in, Nant. Righto. And so, like JT, just have a stab. Like we've put it out to the people. We said, what do you reckon Nant should talk about? And she's mentioned some bloody big things. So I'm pretty excited that she'll come with some wisdom. So whenever she's ready, this will be good.
Well, watch this. This camera is not going to work. There we
go. Hey!
There's sort of that, but watch this.
Where are you?
I'm just going to go. Here we go. Sometimes you just got to do stuff randomly on the fly. There's Nant. Hello.
Oh, there's Nant. Hello,
watch
Nant.
this. And there's Don.
Yep, we're that close.
Here's me, modern technology.
Righto. So, Nant, this is your segment, and we bloody love this.
I was going to go on a rant.
Rant from Nant.
Something you sent me.
Oh, God, what have I done?
However,
what have I said? Hang on, we've got to share this mic, mate.
However,
yes,
I was speaking to your beautiful wife upstairs.
Oh, thank God.
So I'm going to leave the rant till next week because this is really important. We were discussing working in an office. And when I worked in an office, you had Friday night drinks and chips.
Yes.
You had, everyone had a birthday.
Yes.
I think everyone had at least 5 birthdays.
I don't want to kill you, Nant, but we're still having birthdays, baby.
But you had to have birthday cake in an office.
Nothing wrong with that.
And then you had chocolate for celebration, for sales. You had chocolate for
is this your segment then? Are you buddy? Is this your rant for next week or what?
So what we need to do is have accountability buddies in the office.
Right.
Because it's really
challenging.
It's really challenging when you're trying to change some habits. Would you stop?
Right, here we go. Right, now, go. This is your segment. This is not an interview.
It's really challenging when you're trying to change habits and you're the only one that doesn't want cake or the only one that's not having chips. You're the only one that's not having a drink. So we need to get accountability partners in the office to help us. Preferably it would start with an office manager. Preferably it would start with a leader leading that around the office. If not, you can start it yourself. You need to get an accountability partner, which is exactly what your wife is going to do next week.
All right,
when
good.
She gets back to work. Because
Thanks very much, Nat. What a great segment.
We spend 8 hours a day at work, at least, most of our life. And we need to make sure that what we're doing at work is contributing to our health and contributing to our habits and our behaviours and making sure that we can do sustainable long-term changes.
Right, okay. So, Nat, just to be clear, is this your next week's segment or is that this week's segment?
That's this week.
Right, okay. So let me just clarify. I can't do two things, hold this camera and talk. Right. So, Nat, what we want to discuss is accountability buddies.
Yep, at work.
And importantly, the ability to say no thanks.
Absolutely.
Right. So we shouldn't be shamed into eating more cake.
Cake.
Cake shame. But it happens all the time.
Does it?
Yeah. You say no thanks and people say, no, come on, do it. Come on, have some.
Well, you did that to me with that scotch upstairs, Nat.
I did not.
Righto, well, there it is. We've heard it first
Accountability buddies work, especially in an office environment.
Right. So we just... Is this our health whisperer, Nat? Is that what's your gig? Health whisperer.
Yep.
Right. Accountability buddies is our answer.
Yep.
And
for the office. Next week is the rant of what you sent me.
And just as a heads up of what Don sent Nant during the week was, a whole bunch of claims that, well, the guy that invented cigarettes lived till 150
that one,
and the
right.
guy that invented blah, 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 blah,
I was worried
blah.
for a minute that I'd actually.
Oh, that is coming back at you in
sent
spades, my friend
photos
Donny.
to- Good, I didn't send any.
Maradona died when he was 60, blah, blah, blah.
No, save it for next week. No one gives a shit this week. We've got accountability buddies. Excellent. Thanks, Ned.
Bye for now.
Cheers, JT.
Look at that for modern technology.
I'll tell you, mate, that is super impressive because I hadn't thought of an accountability buddy before. I think of drinking buddies, and so now we're. See, I told you, she's not going to be good for me, JT. This is not going to end well.
I know it is, but it is a great tip, and
Bloody great
and
tip.
I think a lot of times it's so true that peer group pressure. It hasn't changed from school, has it? You know, it's what happens at school and happens in the office. Oh, everyone else is eating, I better have it. So if you can actually get an accountability partner, or it's as Nat said, if it's actually led from the office manager and go, hey guys, we're all on this journey together. Let's cut the shit out, and we'll have some healthy food or whatever. Then everyone wins.
JT, I'll drink to that.
There we go. That's oh god, you're in for a world of hurt, my friend.
Homemade vodka, love it.
Now this is one of our favourites.
What do you got, JT?
Well, it's one of our favourite segments, Donny.
Is it?
Do you know what's it called?
Hero of the week.
You bloody ripper!
Close.
Very, very
You
close.
bloody ripper, JT.
Now, Donny, a lot of people, if you are listening to this show, you would know that Donny is a motivational speaker.
I think that's got legs on it.
And, he's been in demand. He's worked all over the world, going and motivating people. He does schools, he does corporates, he does workplaces, footy clubs, you name it. They see this bloke standing out the front with one leg and they go, oh, geez, he's had a hard run. But, oh, geez, look at him. He's been training with Hawthorn and he's gone to 3 world Paralympics and
4
world champions, Commonwealth
3
Games.
Paralympics.
Wow, if he can
One
do
gold.
that, bloody hell, I can do everything. People are running through walls, and it's amazing if you go and see Donny when he's doing his presentation. But Donny,
It's a lot of fun when I. Yeah, what a JT.
well, I've got some bad news.
Oh, God. I haven't been cancelled, have I?
Well, look, it's a very competitive space.
Right, who's there now? Have I
there's
got competition?
There's
Don't
a
we
lot
tell
of Dylan everywhere, of course.
Oh,
There's
yes,
been, Dylan Alcock.
You got to pick your mark. But
He's all over the place now. There's lots of people, but Donny, I think I'd be a little bit worried if I was you.
Oh, why? Who stepped up, JT?
Well,
This
it's
is.
funny you say that because there's a guy called Claudio Vieira de Oliveira. No, you can laugh, Donny. You can laugh, but he is your competition.
Oliveira. He beat Oscar.
Now, I know you're a very competitive person.
Well, a little bit.
And, well, this guy, I reckon he's got you.
What's he do, JT?
Now-
What's his story?
well,
Everyone's got a story.
Well, sometimes they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Donny.
Oh, no. Here we go.
And if I had the picture, I'd show you.
So I'm feeling good so far because this is another technical stuff up from JT.
yeah,
so the
I've-
competition's not on screen.
No idea where the actual photo
Right,
is.
okay.
But I've got it somewhere. No, I'm getting to it. Trust me, it's
Right,
coming.
okay.
But I am going to show the picture. But Donny, this guy is, well, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm just going to say inspirational.
Oh, okay. Have you got the picture yet, JT? Because I hear that a lot, and it's called inspiration porn. And sometimes I just think people are lacking, and they dig for things to make themselves feel good. So what is this, buddy?
Right. Well, I'm going to put the photo up now.
Oliveira.
And be prepared for a bit of a shock.
Righto.
I'm going to explain this to our people who are listening on a podcast because he has this, it's called arthrogryposis multiplex congenita.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him already.
Yeah. Try saying that when you've
No,
had a few
I'm not
scotches,
going
like
to
me.
try that.
Have a look at this, Donny.
What's he got? What,
Now, if you're looking at that picture, you're just going to go, what the hell am I looking at here? This
where's he
guy-
from, JT?
Well, he's what do you mean? He's from Brazil.
Well, he'll win bloody Brazil's Got Talent because that is very impressive what he's done with his head.
So basically he has, well, just to explain it, his head is actually he's resting on his back. He has no neck effect. It's all floppy where his neck is.
Yeah, right.
So he has no cervical spine in his neck.
Yep.
So his head just flops back over his back.
Yep.
And on top of that, he's got atrophy of his leg muscles and his arms are stuck to his chest and his head is turned literally all the way back, as if you can see the photos there. And when he was first born, the doctors actually said they didn't think he was going to last 24 hours.
Legend. Already
but-
like him for that.
But he's 44 now, so he's got a
age.
full career ahead of him, and he hasn't sort of been stopped from doing anything at all.
So what's he done, JT?
He has
I seen him
no
on the
problem
beach.
with
That looked
seeing,
impressive.
breathing, eating, drinking, etc. So he's now launched a DVD, written an autobiography, and does some motivational speaking, Donnie. So I'd be looking out if I was
But
you.
I've got no issues. JT, that is the sort of stuff I just go, I love it. But just because your body's a bit stuffed up doesn't mean you're inspirational to me.
Oh,
It means
hey,
that
what?
you just had a shit card given to you. Like, you got to do something with that, JT. It's like smuggling drugs and coming back and being on bloody celebrity dance shit. You've got to do something with JT. So, yep, okay, I agree he's had a bad card, but I work with people who have been dealt a shit card every day, and some of them are inspirational and some of them just peanuts. And that's okay. So as long as this guy is a decent bloke, he's out there having a crack at life, we can all accept that, you know what, it's a tough one for him, but bloody good on him. And to say that I wouldn't go and listen to him or say that I couldn't be inspired or motivated from him is crock of shit, because I would. But I don't. I've been around this all my life, and I appreciate it for what it is, JT. I don't get hung up on it.
I think I'm a little bit disappointed.
Why?
Well, I just thought you were just going to chop ananother limb off or something, because I just
I'm not that bloody competitive, JT.
thought you were. I'm
No,
just disappointed.
JT.
Jesus,
No. I'm all for it. You're a sadist, you bastard. I want to find out about Dan Andrews and where you were on that night, because I'm not convinced.
Mum is the word. I say nothing. Now,
Right.
Donnie, it's time to introduce the controversial segment that we call Dickhead of the Week.
You suck.
You haven't found me in this segment, have you, JT?
You are going to get a mention at the end of this segment because you've done something very, very silly. Or some may say inspirational. I'm going with silly, stupid,
Righto, fire away.
idiotic.
This is yours, because you've done all the research for this show so far.
Well, I'm nominating the wonderful Lord Mayor Sally Capp of Melbourne.
Sally Cap.
Yep, and the Honourable Ben Carroll.
Ben Carroll. Don't know Ben.
He's the Minister for Transport.
Righto.
Yep. Well, you know, these people here, congratulations. You are our dickheads of the week.
Really? Big call.
Yeah, big call, but you know
What have they done, or what haven't they done to your life?
They're complete dickheads, Don. Because, well, we had an incident in Melbourne a couple of weeks ago where a carriage horse,
Back
died.
to animals, there's no winning on this. Yes,
That's
go
correct.
on, JT.
So, you know, you've been in those carriage horse rides where they, you know, you
think I
sit
might
in the
have seen
carriage,
one
they
of your
take you
tweets
around
about
Melbourne, etc.
Bloody wonderful way to see the city, don't you reckon?
Oh, no, it's not. And unfortunately, one of the horses actually died.
Oh, that's not good.
No, not good at all. It's fair to say it was terrible. And here's a photo, and just to make it real, that is a photo of the horse that died, still chained to the carriage,
Really? They didn't even undo it?
with its little friend standing next to it. So that would have been really nice for that poor thing as well, right? And so the reason I'm nominating both Sally and the Honourable Ben Carroll is because it's up to them to ban this shit that's happening in Melbourne. There is no need for horses to be going through in city conditions anymore. It is ridiculous. They shouldn't be competing with cars and bikes and bloody pollution and smog and noises. It is not an environment for horses.
JT, what about the mounted police?
Mounted police horses are specifically trained to go into those circumstances and aren't flogged and beaten and chained up at night.
Right. So you're saying, how do we get tourists around the city and make them feel
You know
like
what?
bloody
We've actually got a
princesses?
free tram service, Donnie. Jump on the tram. It's free. You can go around and have a look at Melbourne. Or jump on the bikes that can also take you around now in the carriage with the bike guy out the front.
Right.
And see Melbourne that way. But it's just not good enough. And what basically the Minister Ben Carroll, he said he was saddened by the images of the internet. Well, that's great that you're saddened, mate. But how about you get off your rosy little ass and do something about it? Because horses are still treated as a vehicle at the moment. It is up to you as the roads minister to say enough and ban them from Melbourne. And Sally, in 2017, City of Melbourne did stop providing permits for horse-drawn vehicles in some parts of the CBD, but get your finger out of your ass and make it the whole city wide. So you are my dickheads of the week.
Well, JT, on that, while you were doing that, I wasn't laughing at your outrage. I was actually laughing at a little bee has flown in here,
no,
and
it's
Oscar
Oscar's
has
trying
got
to-
it in its sights and about to rip through the studio any second. So anyway, stay tuned for that. We'll have the Minister for bloody cat welfare on our case in a minute when this happens.
Very, very true. Now, of course, with everything bad means there must be something good.
Gotta be
So
something
we have
good,
got...
JT. We've got a hero.
Yeah, talking about karma in the world, poor horse that we've just shown. Well, you know what? There's some bloody good humans around because we found this guy here in the floods. And obviously there was some devastating floods in New South Wales a couple of weeks ago. And we lost a lot of livestock, a lot of homes, a lot of cars. It was pretty sad. And you see people like this. I hope it works.
It's the 5th horse I've saved, mate. They're not my ponies. We've pulled 9 head of cattle out. Now one of these horses, we're just working through the district. Lurky, say good day. Hey, pals.
That, my friend, are 2 unsung heroes that deserve a bit of credit. Well done, boys. That is awesome.
Bloody oath, mate. Anyway, and that's what I like about it. A hero doesn't need to wear a cape, JT. They can just step up, see someone needs a hand or an animal needs a hand and just give them a bloody hand. So good on them.
Yeah, that's what I reckon.
I tell you what, we would really like to know who they were. If anyone listening to the Giddy Up podcast knows who that one was, like if we can track them down, we've got some ripping sponsors, JT. I think we could send that bloke a Yarra Valley Big Cat beer slab.
That is a
JT.
great idea. If we can track them down, you got a
track 'em
fantastic
down.
slab from the Big Cat on the way. Wouldn't they love
Bound
that?
to be an inspirational beer or something.
Well deserved, wouldn't it? Hey?
Yes. that would
Now,
be good.
we've been having a money whisperer on for about 6 months now. He's given out some cracking tips, I should say.
Yes, he has.
And I do want to say that this is a really good one because he's actually wrapped up
Has
his
he?
tips over the last 6
Oh,
months.
I haven't listened.
And to actually just sort of,
Let's find out what he's got to
call
say,
it,
JT.
call it out as it is and say whether he got it right or not. So
Righto.
let's have a listen. No, not that one.
That's not it?
No, it's one of these. You just got
Right.
to press
You just-
one of these buttons, Donnie. It
That's-
shouldn't be that hard.
Error 19 for JT. Here we go.
G'day guys, it's the Money Whisperer here. It's been 6 months since I started providing some updates on all things finance and money for this podcast. So I thought it'd be a good time to do a bit of a stock take, so to speak, on the recommendations and discussions we've had over that time. We discussed fixing home loans. It'd be a good time to fix your owner-occupied principal and interest for 3 or 4 years. Still believe that to be true. I spoke a lot in the property circle, spoke a lot about buying on the Sunshine Coast or Mornings Peninsula because I believe the property market will be very strong for the next 18 to 24 months. Still hold that to be very true, and anyone who's bought in those places would be pretty happy, I'd suggest. We've spoken about a few shares. Webjet, we spoke about it when it was $3.90. Today it's $5.64. Still think it's a good buy or hold if you already own them. So give that one a tick. A2 Milk, we suggested it was potentially a good time to buy in at $10.20. That's tanked down to $7.90 as the ongoing issues with China have continued. I'm not going to buy any more, but if I didn't have any, at $7.90, I'd be buying in for sure. I still believe in the long-term success of the business. It's just had such a big part of its market was China that it's been severely impacted, but I still believe at $7.90 that'd be a good buy-in, but I'm not buying anymore because I have bought in at a higher price. Treasury Wines suggested that at $8, it's gone to $10.40. I wouldn't buy any more at that price, but I'm happy to be in at and holding my profit there. In terms of the cryptos, well, anyone could look a genius in this space currently. First suggested Bitcoin in October. It's up 300% since then. I still believe long term it's getting to all sorts of prices. So if you're prepared to buy it and just put the code in the drawer for a few years and not even think about it, great investment in my opinion. Handshake, mentioned that a month ago. It's gone up 63% since then. I still believe it'll hit $1 in the not too distant future. And Haven Protocol, since we mentioned that at the end of February, it's up 150%. Still a big believer in that project. So in most cases, a lot of ticks there, but a big cross there for A2 Milk. And hopefully the next 6 months we can have a bit more luck going forward. Continue to have a bit more luck. Talk then. Cheers.
Well, there we go. Some bloody great tips. I tell you what, we've got chaos in the studio because somehow we've had the window open. A bee has got in, and Oscar has gone.
Wasp fake, that one.
He's just like game on, and he's just jumping over everything.
He's going to take no prisoners.
You just need to stay right where you are, my little friend. Yeah, some. He pretty much got everything right, really. Let's be honest.
A2 milk just stuffed us, didn't it? That was the only one.
The only one, and that'll come back.
Yeah,
so.
that's all right. That's time. But
So basically, anything he says, treat it like gold, and you can't go wrong. He would have made you a lot of money if you'd followed all his advice.
Well, he sort of has, JT, which is wonderful. So, and he's not done yet. That's what I like about the Finance Whisperer. The Money Whisperer is literally the thing I like the most about it. And the same why we got Nan is these guys got skin in the game. They're not just bloody lecturing, giving out bullshit information. They're actually doing. That's what I liked the most out of that one. He says, if I didn't already have some.
Yep.
So, yeah, good boy. Love
That's exactly right. Now, speaking of awesome bloody tips, Donnie.
Oh, yes. What, JT? Sounds like a life hack.
It is a life hack, Donnie, and we're going to share two life hacks with you here. One just blew my mind.
Did it?
I never knew this. I'm just going to show you. It's a video, but the audio will tell you all you need to know.
Okay.
Do you know the hole in the middle of the pasta ladle fits one serving of pasta?
Donnie, did you know that?
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Did you?
Never bloody used to.
I did not know that. I've always wondered why there was. I just thought it was the water to drain out. I did not know that was for one serving of pasta.
One serving?
Yeah. So if you're four of you, you put four holes of pasta.
I thought what they just whacked in there was enough for four.
No.
So, all right.
Serving.
Well, that's bloody.
There we
We'll
go.
have a
First
crack
tip.
at that over Easter break.
Yeah. Now the second tip we want to share with you is what do we call it? It's for the dishwasher. Now you know how sometimes when you get your cutlery out of the dishwasher, it's got the stain sort of over it.
No, because I got rid of my dishwasher and put another drawer in.
There you go. Okay. Well, for those that have got dishwashers,
I've got four kids, mate. I don't need a dishwasher.
You know what I'm talking about. So here's a handy little hack that'll fix that little problem up.
Right, what do you got? Let's have a look at this.
What I've learned on TikTok. You take your aluminum foil, put it in your sink, take your bacon grease, pour it in, and when it's dry, your grease, you just wrap it up into a little pouch. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, and you just throw it out.
That was the one I was actually planning on showing, but it's still a good one. Because if you pour that down your drain, that's how you clog up your drains.
Right.
So
Sorry, JT.
we're just having a wasp attack
I
here.
thought
at the
I'd
moment.
get that little sucker. I reckon I've given him a headache. Should be
Oscar
easy
is
picking.
seriously
Oscar.
trying to have a crack here. So that was a little hack, Donnie. I don't know if it'll
yes.
work or not.
That was good. Nothing to do with dishwasher. I thought she was going to pour that in the dishwasher.
Yeah, so do I. I got the wrong one. I had a couple of hacks. I went with the wrong one. I pushed the wrong button.
That is the 20s.
Are we in double figures yet? I'm pretty sure I said we'd hit double figures. Now, Don,
take it.
There's a couple of things happening.
Right,
I've got
Where's that
dad
wasp?
joke.
I've got to get this.
Yeah, you get him.
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Take me off for a minute,
This
JT.
could be.
I used to, seriously, I was
This
Mr.
isn't-
Miyagi in a previous life.
This
I'll
isn't
get
going to
this,
end well.
Joe. No, I'll get it. You
This
watch.
isn't going to end
I'll
well.
guarantee I'll get this.
Donnie's
Anyway,
taking
come on,
this very
focus.
seriously. Look at this. Watch
I
for those watching at home. I'll just walk you
dead
through it. He's currently tracking it
between me and
around to the
it's
ceiling.
your-
it's
it's
now
your
up the top. He reckons
time.
he's going to try and
I'm going
get
to
it
wait
up
for it
on
to
the
come down. I'll get
How
it.
are you going to get it exactly?
I'm
What
just
are you
going to clap and squash it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Seriously, I had Uncle Snake and he taught me how to kill flies, and wasp can't be that much different.
Well, while Donnie's doing that,
Right.
it's we've got a couple of things coming up. We've got Dad Joke of the Week. I'm going to hit that with you now, but we have some pretty exciting breaking news relating to Don himself.
Oh, yes.
But before we do that,
Dad Joke of the Week.
well, now this one has a little bit of extra, humour in it, because for those of you that know Don's wife, most of you know her as Boof.
Yes.
But of course, her actual name is Denise.
Right.
I just thought that was important context before I actually read out this joke. So
Remember,
I've now.
got to go home to her.
How you going with the wasp, by the way?
I've
Just
got
so
it in my sights.
You're on
It's
it?
on your sprinkler system. I won't hit it yet.
Okay, good stuff. All right, so a pregnant woman gets into a car accident and falls into a deep coma. Now, she was asleep for nearly 6 months, and she wakes up and she sees that she's no longer pregnant. Yeah, so frantically she asked the doctor about her baby. And the doctor replies, says, "Ma'am, you had twins, a boy and a girl. The babies are fine. Your brother came in and named them, so everything's good." And the woman just thinks to herself, she goes, "Oh, no, not my brother. He's an absolute idiot."
Oh.
So expecting the worst, she asked the doctor, she said, "Well, what's the girl's name?" And the doctor replies, says, "Oh, no, not my brother. He's an absolute idiot." So expecting the worst, she asked the doctor, she said, "Well, what's the girl's name?" And the doctor replies, says, "Well, what's the girl's name?" And the doctor just says, well, Denise.
That's turned out all right.
Yeah, and the new mum thinks, well, it's actually not a bad name. I guess maybe I was wrong about my brother. I like the name Denise.
Good one.
So then she says, well, what's the boy's name? And the doctor replies, well, the nephew.
Oh, no. Wolf's not going to like that. Oh, no. That's a good one, JT.
Yeah, we like that.
Like,
Okay.
Wouldn't open with it, but I'd give it a run.
All right, okay, another one. So there was a proposed reality TV show, and the idea was to shoot a hardcore show about the military. So they set up a scenario inside the room in the table, and seated behind the table is a woman. And the order is to kill the person inside the room. Jesus. So they're given a pistol, and unbeknown to them, it's loaded with blanks. But whoever is willing to pull the trigger wins the show.
Good, JT.
Donnie has taken out the wasp. That is 1 Don, wasp 0.
Hang on. I've got it. Sorry, JT. I got it.
There's not a lot left to that wasp, I've got to tell you.
I got it.
So the reality show producers get a service member for each of the main branches of the military and everything, and they bring them in one at a time. And the first man is an airman, and the producer says, okay, you need to kill whoever is in that room. So the airman goes pale, and he just leaves without a word. So bugger that, right? Mm. So next up is a Navy seaman. So the order's given to go in and kill. And he responds with hesitation, and he's like, you know what? I signed on for college, man. I'm not here to kill people. I'm out.
Oh.
Okay. So following him in is a soldier of the army, and he responds enthusiastically with a hell yeah, grabs the gun and heads straight into the room. And after a moment, he heads back out and sets the gun down unfired, looks at the producer in the eye and says, I can't shoot an unarmed woman who's just sitting there. I'm out.
Mm.
So by this time, the producer's getting a bit frantic that maybe this show that he thought was going to be a cracker of a reality TV show maybe just won't even get made. And the last one to come in is a Marine. So the Marine walks in and the same order is given. Well, you need to kill whoever sits in that room. Can you do it? And the Marine responds with a nod, picks up the pistol, and without hesitation, heads in. And the producer hears gunshots before the door finishes closing. And then after some brief silence, he hears a cracking sound, followed by a blood-curdling scream. So the Marine walks out holding a table leg covered in blood. And the producer immediately asks, mate, what happened? And the Marine tosses the pistol down and looks him right in the eye and says, well, mate, some dumbass put blanks in your gun, so I had to improvise. Anyway, mission's accomplished.
Oh, no, JT. Oh, those Marines. That's sort of a good one, JT.
You like that one?
Sort of.
It was a long time coming, that one, wasn't it?
No.
Now, we've been teasing this for a while, but we have it. Anyone who's been listening to the show knows that is our breaking news sound, Donnie. This is hot off the press. Hot.
JT, we've got some breaking news.
Donnie, is there anything that you would like to share with our listeners around maybe some activities or, I don't know, some sporting ambitions or just something that you may have got up to recently?
Well, apart from just making bloody mincemeat of that wasp, JT.
Ninja-like.
Which, yeah, seriously, I'm happy to say I still got it. But that still got it was put to the test. JT, I was thinking about my life and I was looking at my little fella and I was thinking... My son, that was, not the other little fella.
Well, you need a magnifying glass for that one. So,
yep. So turns out, I thought to myself, I don't know that I'm being the best role model for my boy. Like the girls, they've all grown up bloody awesome, but since I've been home brewing and stuff, it's consumed a bit of my time. And I thought, I'm just turning a little fatty. So I decided, JT.
What do you know?
I've taken up footy.
As in soccer?
Seniors.
Soccer?
Nah, Aussie rules, mate. Seniors. Over 45s.
Yep.
The old blokes. We all just, when I say we all, I went to my first training session last night, JT. Bloody loved it.
How you feeling? How'd you pull up?
4:30 this morning, I got up and crawled my sorry ass to the bathroom to get some painkiller. JT, so fucking...
Just a couple of like Panadol maybe, wasn't it?
No,
That's
bloody
what-
endone, mate. I needed the hardest shit I could get. Oh, JT, I was in all sorts, mate. I couldn't move my arm. I'm crawling like a shot dog through my bedroom. I couldn't even put my knee down, mate. I was in so much bloody pain. And then I figured the old man's missions, his little words popped in my head. No pain, no gain. And I thought, stick your gun up your ass because this is too much pain. But no, seriously, JT, I'm back, mate. I'm enjoying it. It's like one session in. So, but if I can recover, we play every couple of weeks and we train every Wednesday. So that's it, mate. That's the big news on the Don segment at the moment. It's a mission that I hope to get through this season.
We are very much looking forward to your debut game, and I can assure you the Giddy Up cameras will be present.
I sort of sensed that.
Yeah. There'll be pretty much a full film crew.
I didn't touch much of the bullet training last night. I did my first real touch of it. It come in, and I haven't kicked the footy for 20 years. Like apart from a few little kicks with my mate, me little fella, it come in, and it come in pretty bloody hard, Nathan Buckley style. It hit me arm, banged up, and hit me in the face. Like fucking, I thought I'm going to end up with a black eye just from trying to take a mark. So anyway, it's good news is that I fit right into this team of blokes that are just out there having a bit of fun, trying to move around and move it before we lose it.
Hang on a minute. I think there's more breaking news.
There's more
Donnie.
breaking news, JT. I don't know if I like the sound of this. What's your more break? Are you coming with me?
Donnie, now I realise that Nant is very physically close by, but if I was to announce a comeback of football...
You bloody ripper! It's in the wrong segment, JT.
Yeah, well, can't do it then. Bugger it. Oh,
No, you can.
No, I can't.
You want to join?
No.
There's your neck that's fixed.
I'd love to. Are you kidding me? I still haven't been to gym literally this year. I am still struggling a bit. But once that's settled, look out. I
JT,
won't
it's
be
been
playing a game, but
20
I might,
years, mate. Come with me.
just come down and do a bit of training. You just never know.
Giddy up.
Look out. Now, Donnie, we always love ending up the show with the final fling where you give some wonderful words of advice.
Now, JT, my final fling for this week is this. Pick your influences. Just because somebody's inspirational, just because things come your way, doesn't mean that they are your inspiration. You can choose who inspires you. And the way to do that, a great way to do that, is get rid of the shit that stresses you. Unfollow things that you're finding your blood riles when you read it or see it. When people that you flick past their thing because they give you, just block them, move on, and start to go into things that you actually like. Follow it, comment, and more of that stuff will pop up. So your social media has a huge bearing on you, on your behaviour, and so too does your network of friends and the people that you're in your circle. So my advice, JT, this week is to notice who is in your circle, whether it's on the media, whether it's in your person, and surround yourself with positive people because positive things happen to positive people.
Wonderful advice, Donnie. Now, of course, that doesn't apply at all to the Giddy Up podcast.
No, with the exception to the rule. Everyone needs an exception to the rule.
So keep that in the feed. In fact, share it with other people.
Tell
That'd
others.
be bloody awesome.
Even if
That's
they
right.
don't like that shit, ram it down their throat.
That's exactly right. So, well, there we go. We've managed to survive. I think we got into double figures with technical difficulties, but we kind of got through. We've had wasps. We've had to
We killed
ninja.
that wasp, mate. Me and Oscar wiped him out. Hey, JT, what I want to say is we've missed our mad mate Mick this week.
We have.
The Yarra Valley Big Beer Cat Company and our tradie.com voucher.
Missed a
lot this week, but we will, through the powers of technology, we'll get them both back next week. And I tell you what, now is a perfect opportunity to just take a moment. And Mick mentioned it last time, and we're still on the hunt. We've got some cracking yarns that have come through. So we want a few more, and that is to share with us the family legend. So if you've got a story in your family that is bloody bigger than Ben-Hur, someone met the Queen, someone, did something amazing, we want to hear about it. Family legends. Righto? So write into it.
Send it in, yeah.
Yep. And give us a ring, buddy, write it in, and you've got a slab coming your way if it's chosen as the best.
Awesome. There we go. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And we will catch you probably next week where we've got over all our stupid commitments. We're back into a bit of a routine. So we will see you live again next week. We'll announce the date and time soon.
Giddy up.
bye for now. Well, sort of now, because Don's got to do his big finish. You know, this is
Yeah, this is it. I've got it.
traditional.
Coming, Jake. It's coming.
Here it comes.
Did I get that, Jay? I think I missed it.
Yeah, you completely stuffed it
shit.
up. Yeah.
I've got to get there.
There we go. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Funny story, not funny. We actually forgot to hit record again at the start. So
True.
Donnie picked it up, though we got over that one. And we managed to survive a lot of technical
And that
difficulties.
fucking wasp, that was real.
Yeah, that seriously,
That's dead.
that
Like,
wasn't
seriously,
a
just roll
problem.
forward. I'll show if anyone sees. I killed it. Oscar went looking for it, but it was dead.
Oscar's happy now, just resting on
my
your laptop.
Yep.
So we
That's a true story. Take it off me. Let's have a look at Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar is what?
Oh, fuck! Can't do it like that. Hang on.
Technical difficulties again. There we go.
Here's why JT's on the big bucks.
And we're gonna.
There's Oscar on my laptop.
And for those watching, here's a grand tour of the studio, Donnie. So show everyone the studio.
Right, here's the studio. This is the that's my fat head, right? And this is the green screen. There's JT, like literally right there. So we are back together again. This is shit. I'm not very good at that. So we're that close. So it was very different doing it tonight with the like not looking at you, but
very,
sort of,
very hard. We'll have to fix that up.
I don't think we've nailed that bit, but anyway.
No, definitely. We could do some work on the setup of the room. We've got some limited space here, but we're trying to get on it. As Donnie puts that back,
I got no idea how that goes.
He's completely stuffed up. It doesn't matter. So anyway,
Let's
that
watch
is
a cute cat hit.
Yeah, watch a cat. There we go. Oscar's very easily amused. So anyway, that is enough from us tonight. It's bloody hot in this room.
Time for a drink.
So exactly right. Have a wonderful Easter, everyone.
Oh, happy Easter.
Have a great Easter. Don't drink too much. Please don't drink and drive. And remember to
if you
tell
do-
your friends that you love them. Tell your family that you love them. What else you got, Don?
Well, if you drink and drive, hopefully you'll come back alive on Monday, because that seems to be the theme of what happens at Easter, doesn't it? One dies on Friday, comes back on Monday.
Oh, now I get where you're going. Yeah, I'm staying out of all the religious jokes. I'm in enough trouble as it is. See ya. Bye, everyone.